Hey guys, welcome back. Good Vibe Tribe here. I'm Jill.
I'm Chris. I'm Nana. Hey.
That's Nana Nene, or Nana Nini. Anyway, we're back, guys. We are talking about hormones and balancing and supporting them at every age. Anybody have any hormonal issues?
No, not me.
Me
not
either.
a new mother. That'd be crazy.
Me either. I'm gonna start and go over the two most common hormones. Oh, thank you for pointing that out, Nana Nini.
Just saying.
Would you like to throw that
Disclaimer. We are not here to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases or hormonal problems.
Exactly.
We're just going to balance some hormones.
I love it.
We're gonna support them.
Support them.
I hope that's our screen grab on this video. But anyway, moving on. Estrogen. We've all heard about estrogen. Estrogen is the hormone that supports the female characteristics and promotes them. Like, estrogen is responsible for your extra softness and your curves and your girls and all that stuff. It also helps control your menstrual cycle. It keeps cholesterol in check, can help with bone health, affects your brain. Estrogen has a big part on your mood and just balancing your emotions. The ovaries are your main source of estrogen, but you also get estrogen from your adrenal glands. And if you didn't know, your adrenal glands are located in your lower back, right above the kidneys. Moves through your blood and affects every part of your body.
I had no idea that's where my adrenal glands were.
Yeah, I know.
Just side note.
I know.
Thank
Me
you,
neither.
Jill. That was helpful. Man, I thought you took a nap over there for a second. She's back. Sorry, settled into the
I'm awake right now.
If you don't have enough estrogen in your body, it can affect your menstrual cycle, hot flashes, you can have trouble sleeping, dryness down there, low sexual desire, mood swings, and also dry skin. Sometimes you can have too much estrogen. If you're a little on the fluffy side, you may have too much. You may have weight gain, mainly in your waist, hips, and thighs. Again, it can affect your menstrual cycle. Fibroids, fatigue, sluggish libido, and you can get feelings of sadness or anxiousness as well. That's all about estrogen. Too high, too low, all that. The other main hormone that we have in our bodies is progesterone. Progesterone is secreted by this is something I learned too, this corpus luteum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Good thing it's in my body.
But you know what? It's only temporary. Okay. Once you throw out that egg, that corpus is in the egg and it pushes out progesterone. If your egg doesn't fertilize, gone. So it just shows up for like 3 or 4 days, pumps out progesterone, and then it leaves. It's crazy. Progesterone is highest at the last part of the cycle, and Chris is going to go over all of that. I'm just giving you the rundown. Progesterone is super important for pregnancy. It's what helps beef up the uterine lining to keep that egg, that fertilized egg, inside. Speaking of pregnancy, progesterone, if you have low progesterone, the signs of that might be something like irregular periods, missed periods, spotting during pregnancy, frequent miscarriages, again, because progesterone is what beefs up that lining to hold on to the fertilized egg. If you don't have enough progesterone, you're going to lose that fertilized egg. Low progesterone also can be can lead to low libido and gallbladder problems. I don't know, weight gain as well.
Also added fatigue.
Fatigue.
and trouble regulating body temperature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. So that was estrogen and progesterone,
Yes.
2 major ones.
Something that I learned in researching for this class was that you really should see a medical professional to get your levels checked before
No
you start
kidding.
using something.
Yes.
So, because you never know what you're high or low of, and you don't want to just start using everything, which I kind of did, but it was working for me. I'll tell you guys my story later.
Yeah. It's always good to find your starting
It's
point,
always
though.
good to know what your levels are, and
100%.
what was interesting was they said you should have your blood checked once a week to find out your levels, just because your levels can change because of your cycle, which
Hello.
is, common sense.
And segue into the cycle.
Onto your cycle, ladies.
Take it away, Chris.
Okay, so do you mind holding this for me? Thank you so much. I went ahead and
You want
created
the
a
baby?
little. Yes, Nana, take a child. I created this chart to kind of give you an
I
idea
don't
of
like
what's
that we
going on.
can't see Jill.
Well, okay,
Can you hold it up here?
It's out of camera. It's all good.
Nana, hold the baby. Okay, so if you think about your menstrual cycle and your entire month in the form of seasons, you would have a winter, spring, summer, and fall. If you can identify your menstrual cycle, your actual period, as winter's coming, you know what I'm saying? Then it goes into your spring, summer, and fall. Okay, so if you think about your hormones as far as like yin and yang, yin being a little more on the negative side, that's obviously winter and winter and fall. And then on your yang, when you're happiest and feeling more balanced, that's going to be your spring and your summer. So winter is the first 7 days of your cycle, or 5 days, however your body regulates. And you can see here, blue is estrogen, right? You see this wave? And then pink is your progesterone. So you can see where they start to level out. This is why you feel so good in summer, because your body has equalized. Your estrogen and your progesterone are a pair. Now, you can see your progesterone during winter and spring is low, and then it hops back up to summer. And then your estrogen is lowest in winter as well. That's because your body just dumped. That is why you are bleeding, ladies, right? You're depleted. So this is a great time, if we're talking about your emotions and your emotional support, to really go inward, to retreat. This is why you want to stay home in your jammies and your period. You're allowed to, stay in and nurture yourself. I wrote down some words here that I can't even read, so let me just pull this away for a second. Quiet, time alone, surrendered, internal. This is a time for you to treat, that section of yourself. Sorry. So spring, you can see that your estrogen is starting to peak again, right? This is where you get into that dreamy stage. You become expansive, you're creating new ideas, and you have a fresh set of eyes. So this is a good time for you to start planning how you're going to spend your summer the next week, right? When you're feeling active and in charge and connected with others and playful. And then you're getting your levels start to decrease here in fall, and your body is preparing again for the winter. So this is where you go and you do your inner focus. You're more self-aware, you're a little more critical, and a little more vulnerable. So what's important during these times where you're dipping here is to support your body and your hormone balance emotionally, and there are oils for emotional support, and also things that are bioidentical estrogens, for instance, ladies sclerol. So this is scleroscence. I didn't even grab the right one. That's perfect. So day 1 through 14, I balance myself by putting lady sclerol under my belly button, 1 drop daily, and that's that, and I feel great. We also have a bioidentical progesterone, which is the Progestins Plus, and you know, according to your levels, when you need to support that. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that you can understand a little more about your hormonal cycle and why you feel the way that you do emotionally and why that's okay. Like your body is meant to have those seasons. You are meant to feel like you need to retreat. It's not weird to isolate. You're meant to rest. You're meant to build yourself up to create so that you can have an awesome spring and summer. So was that helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. Because the hormone levels are changing throughout the
Mm-hmm.
month, and you do feel like that.
Yes. And I think a lot of women don't understand why they feel that
Yes.
way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they feel shameful about wanting to stay in and isolate. And
It's
you're
nature,
created to do that.
It's nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Okay, Nana, what you got?
Nana,
Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is the Progessence Plus that I use that smells really good. I use it kind of like a perfume because I use it twice a day. 2 drops on my inner wrist, morning and night. I put that next to my toothbrush so I can remember to use it, but it smells good. Like I have friends that want to follow me around. They're like, oh, you smell so good. I'm like, it's my Progessence Plus. You don't need to circulate. You don't need to circulate this throughout your cycle. This is okay to use the whole month because it is made from wild yam. And so there's nothing synthetic about it. There's no synthetic progesterone. It's made with wild yam, which is a Progessence S.
Same way
Serum.
with the estrogens, by the way. There's no synthetic hormones in those. They're just estradiol supporting,
That's right.
phytoestrogens,
Yep.
if you
Yes,
will.
I will. Get some signs from that.
Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
then there's Sclerescence, which is a blend that contains clary sage, peppermint, Spanish sage, and fennel. And it's funny because when I put this in the diffuser, my kids say it smells like peach.
You
rings.
said that. Peach
It
gummy
smells
rings.
really good. So I diffuse that in the car a lot just because I have it. The kids are sometimes hormonal as well. They're reaching that stage of hormones, and it smells good. And when you smell peach rings, it just makes you happy.
I know.
So we use that in the car. And then there's clary sage, which I just researched clary sage because I got this clary sage floral water in the UK. It's exclusive to the UK, but I heard that it's really good for sleep, which sleep is so important because that's how you re-energize and you just recharge your battery, and you have to have that time for rest. So what we've been doing is spraying the clary sage on our linens, and just because you don't have this and can't get this doesn't mean you can't make it. You can get a little glass bottle, put 10 to 20 drops of clary sage oil in it. Can you hold my baby, please?
Oh, let me hold the baby.
And then add a squirt of witch hazel, fill it with water, spray it on your linens. You will sleep like a baby, I guarantee. We slept through our alarm clocks. It
2
was
mornings, right?
2 mornings. And, I mean, thinking about it, it balances your hormones with the clary sage in it, so that all ties into your whole system. We also like to use the Dragon Time massage oil at bedtime, just 1 little tiny squirt on the belly. That's good for male and female hormones. It helps with sleep as well. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the stuff in our daily products that we use, like detergent,
Soaps,
skincare,
makeup,
the things we're eating that contain herbicides and pesticides.
those
Those,
xenoplastics.
yes.
Xenoestrogen.
Oh, I mean, we can go on forever with those toxic chemicals that are in a lot of our products, or maybe our food was grown with those chemicals. Those are hormone altering. Thank you.
Disruptive.
Toxins
They
in our
are
life.
disruptors. We can say that.
Yeah, so last night I was reading about xenoestrogens, and let me tell you about that. So xeno means foreign, and it's foreign estrogen that they're talking about. They're chemically manufactured hormones that are used in pesticides and animal growth hormones. They're increasingly found in foods, causing an overbalance of estrogen in the body, which may cause adverse effects. There are lots of aged women that I come in contact with that just, express that they're tired of facial hair. They get this facial hair and you wonder where it all comes from. Well, that's from an overabundance of testosterone. It's hormone imbalance. And
Well, they're
then,
depleted from their estrogen, right? Because they've gone through the change where your body is drying all that stuff up, right?
yes.
And that's when you start losing your sexy. That's why women get so cray, right? And they get cranky and the hot flashes and all the things that happen, but that's because their estrogen is depleted and it's so low, and so then they start drying up. And if you can support that the whole time, then this estrogen is what separates us from men, right?
Remember, it's our female characteristics, our softness, our emotions,
Our lack of
our
facial hair.
fluffies, our curves, our beautiful skin.
Okay, what else?
Sorry.
And one more thing that I wanted to express was that with these hormone imbalances or the artificial chemicals that are causing hormone imbalances, that's why we see an overabundance of kids reaching, getting their menstrual cycle early, developing breasts at an early age, which also means that they're going to go into menopause sooner. So it's a whole cycle of infertility and all this stuff that's
affecting
bad.
our life cycle.
You know, all the
Autoimmune disease,
Yes.
thyroid,
endocrine
problems.
disruptors.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think why we're here is because we just want to make everyone aware that there are things that you can change out simply. You can't avoid everything, but what you can do in your home makes a difference. So instead of putting the young daughter on birth control at an early age, how about let's try to prevent that from happening by keeping her hormones balanced and not introducing these toxic, unnecessary
Processed foods.
Products.
toxins into their systems.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta protect the little
We gotta
babies.
protect the little.
I know.
And ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
it's not easy to
I know.
do.
Yeah, I know way too
what
many
we do
people
as
with issues that I'm certain is environmental.
Yep.
You know, from
Oh yeah.
what we absorb and ingest and are around. So
And breathe in.
and breathe in.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, I mean, to touch on that, my heritage and my family is from Vietnam. My grandmother's 96 years old. She lives in this little village. You can't even get there by car. They drive to the bridge, they drop you off, and you walk a quarter mile to her house. She doesn't use all these facial care products. She doesn't dye her hair. She doesn't, she doesn't even use insect repellent when they live in a mosquito infested area because they burn lemongrass. So there is a difference there, and I think that there is a link to what is in our environment that causes these autoimmune disorders and hormone disruptors and disease and,
Totally. Couldn't agree more.
so, yeah.
So when you know better, you do better, right? Thank you, Maya Angelou, for that.
I know.
I hope this video serves you.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching,
Bye,
guys.
ladies.
Oh my god, hot flashes.
That's awesome.
How's Nana gonna get the babies?
Oh. Oh, let's talk about hormone. I can't. My eyes are like rattling.
I know.
Just her.
Is it progesterone?
No,
No,
it's testosterone.
estrogen.
Oh,
Testosterone.
testosterone, right?
Testosterone. Yeah. All right. Okay. Oh my god, my wig is stuck on my curls.